Well, I made it all the way to the Meadows on time. I did sleep in a little bit today. There was a chance of rain everywhere. We've been very fortunate with the weather, except for the concert last night. If you guys are following me on Facebook, it was the weirdest thing. Went to the concert because the rain wasn't supposed to start until 11 or shortly thereafter. So I said to Amy, we'll watch almost to the end and then we'll take off before the rain comes. That didn't happen. Mother Nature had other plans. I remember they finished a song and we were all pumped, having a drink, and kids were eating something, and they come on and said we had to pause the concert. Now, really cool place to watch a concert, the Blossom Music Center. It's actually in Cuyahoga Falls, and I was wrong. It's 31 minutes from our house, not 19. Now you have the pavilion, you have the stage, and the big shell over top of it. It's open, but there's a big shell over it, the pavilion. And then there's this big hill, and you can rent chairs and have general admission, just stay on the hill. Now, when Ollie and I went to the concert last year, the hill was packed. We walked in last night, and the hill was packed. So they paused the concert. They said, the weather's coming a little quicker than they thought. For those of you on the hill, you're going to have to take shelter in your car or leave, I guess. There's lightning, thunderstorm and lightning coming, so you can't be on the hill. So they paused the concert. I guess in retrospect, that's because they don't want people saying, oh, I'm going to chance it and then get hit by lightning, right? So they clear out the, what did the guy call it? He's singing, he goes, oh, it's nice to see some of the grass people back. Oh, people up in the grass. So they clear out. The show still paused. It wasn't like they were waiting for them to leave. They also were not performing when there's lightning in the area for whatever reason. It was electronics, I guess. I don't know. This goes on for like 30, 40 minutes. So now you start thinking, are they going to cancel this thing? Is there going to be a mad dash to the door? And they have a big lightning bolt on the screen saying lightning in the area, take shelter, blah, blah, blah. The lightning bolt goes away. Everybody cheers. We're looking to get the concert back underway within the next, whatever, I think it was like 15 minutes or something. Bear with us. Thank you for sticking around type thing. Then about 5 minutes later, everybody's phone collectively goes off in the entire place, and you can hear them all. Tornado in the area. Take shelter immediately. So now Addie, being dramatic, she starts crying. I said, relax. It's always the old people first that the tornado sucks up. It's not. It's just relax. I said, we'll be fine. Seats are bolted down. So, everybody's, there's just collective gasp. Not like everybody's terrified. It's, you guys get these, especially, you don't get them very often in Ohio, but I've had 4 or 5 times we've gone through this. You don't get them in Ontario very often, once or twice, every couple of years. The further south you get, you see a lot more of them. So everybody's kind of looking at each other. No one's leaving, which they didn't say leave immediately, right? Nobody's leaving. You're staying there. The wind picks up, and there's this torrential downpour. The downpour came through first, then it stopped, then it started again. The winds whip up, and it lasted for about 10, 12 minutes, and then it was gone. Stopped. Silent. Screen goes black again. We are continuing the concert. So they come back out, they played. They played a number of songs, and the girls were happy. Ava was waiting. So the whole Mumford & Son things was this. When Ava was born, I remember I was listening to The Cave, which is one of their songs. She's at home now. Sorry, she's at home. She's in her crib, and I was playing, and Amy had like a picture, a video of me just looking at her, right? This is my first kid. And this song's playing in the background. And I remember showing the video or whatever to Ava, saying this is the first song you ever heard. And that was it. So she knew when Mumford & Sons was coming to town that this was who sang that song. And they played the song, and Ava's singing the whole song, Addie's singing. And then I said, all right, I'm actually a little tired now. And Amy goes, I'm exhausted. And we decided to leave. And as we're leaving, they play their biggest song, I Will Wait. As we're leaving, running out, and Ollie goes, wait, I want to hear this song. So he goes up onto the hill where the grass people were, and he's watching the song, and then we leave. And then I guess That might have been their last song, actually. So it was a bit of an odd night. I wouldn't say it was as good as the concert I watched last year. That was pretty cool. Only because I didn't know as many songs for Mumford & Sons as I did for Hootie and the Blowfish, but nevertheless, it was fun. It was fun. For those of you in the area, I think they said Keith Urban is there on the 27th, if I'm not mistaken. Is at the Blossom Music Center. I obviously don't have time to go there, but it was a lot of fun. So that was last night, inclement weather, a little odd, but it still was a good concert. It was nice. It's always nice to see people play live, right? I've never been that guy where I want to see him play live, but I don't like the giant crowds just surrounding you, but it is fun, and especially at that place, it's a lot of fun. So it was a bittersweet night, a little scare with the lightning and the thunderstorms, and then with the tornado warning, but nevertheless, the concert itself was good. I recommend them. Now, yesterday we had a great day at the office, being the track. I know Melisandre was third, and she's getting really good at finishing behind the leaders, but one of these days she's going to break free again and take a good mark and hopefully shake loose. Nevertheless, she's a nice filly, just obviously not to the expectations we had of her from the start, but there's always tomorrow, right? And she certainly isn't bad trotting at 56. She just needs to do a little bit more. And then a great mile, a tremendous mile from Cherry's Girl yesterday. Now, the difference between yesterday, this will come up, to get away last with Diosa della Danza, kind of knowing what was coming, which would be a slow half and a big last half, as opposed to Cherry's Girl quarter poling her to the front. Why the difference? And I'm going to tell you right now. These days, these starting miles are about learning. They're not about speed. They're about teaching. And with Cherry's Girl, she'd never been exposed to that type of mile before. And I'm trying to give her a refresher course on what she was supposed to be learning all year, which at times it looked like she wasn't learning anything. But for her, I put her in a place where she was a little exposed, and she passed with flying colors. She was amazing. Now, quite the opposite, but the same, I put Diosa della Danza in a place where she was also exposed totally differently. Last week, you saw her almost run away with me in the qualifier. We put a snake cord back on her yap today, and she was much more obedient, put earplugs in her ears. The one thing I did notice, the track was a little more sandy today, and she was getting into her ears. If you see where they start to sprint getting in the last turn, and I lose them by about 3 lengths, she was spinning her wheels and get into her knees a little bit. Didn't pound them, but just brush them. Her feet are a little shelly. What I mean by that is they chip away easily. They're a little dry. The walls are not as good as I'd like to see them. Her front feet, if you look closely, she has yellow on her feet. That's a little Equilocks building them up. So I wanted to leave her in Pennsylvania and have a blacksmith come over, take her shoes off. I'm not so sure aluminums wouldn't fit her a little better anyway. If she is spinning off of the full swedges, not a lot of grab on them. And rather than add borium, it may make more sense just to put an aluminum shoe on her. A little lighter alloy, it chews into the track a little bit more, but the other side of that coin is it can be a little harder on them from time to time. So we've come to a crossroads in her shoeing. Which way do we go? Do we go to the aluminum and prepare her for the next generation, race her again next week, or do we stick with the full swedge, get the blacksmith to build up her feet, clean up those walls, take the pressure off them all around, and just put full swedges back on her? I'm going to think about that. Talk to Tim a little bit more about it, but I suspect it'll be a hybrid of both. I am leaning towards aluminums up front on her, just because it may also take her out of her knees. It may take her out of her knees, and if it does, I think her ability to behave, relax, switch gears, both going the backwards route and forward, will be easier, because it's not just speeding up, it's when you're taking them off the gate that they can touch their knees and get into their knees. And with her today, the wire snake cord was more than enough. She never tightened the line the whole way. Maybe we'll downgrade her to a rope snake cord next week for her race. She'll come right back at the Meadows again. I want to get one more race into her. and then we'll hopefully that will be enough to prepare her. So changes for next week, I think. So this is the equipment she wears right now: screen, shadow roll, closed bridle, head pole left, knee boots. I think 59-inch hobble, if I'm gonna guess, and that's it. I think we're gonna leave the bridle the way it is, leave the head pole, add shin boots, because if we lower her down out of her knees with the aluminums on, which can happen, there's always that chance she might touch a shin. So go to shin boots and knee boots, aluminums up front, build her walls up, clean them up good where they need to be cleaned up, leave her hobbles just exactly where they are, and move her from a wire snake cord to a rope snake cord for now. Now, if she doesn't tighten the line again, and we're looking to get her a little more aggressive, which may not be the best route for the next generation, we can just go ahead and take that off and see if she behaves. But I'm much more hopeful that the rope snake cord will do the trick with respect to her headgear and her bit. So today was not about speed, although she certainly showed some. Last half in 55-1, last quarter in 27-1 or 27 flat. I'm not sure which it was. I don't think I had it up on here, did I? No. I think it was 27-1, and Ronnie's horse came 27 flat, if I'm not mistaken. That's a very, very good filly. Ian Ronnie's horse, obviously one of Burke's prospects. He was racing today. I was really just, I was going to race our filly exactly on what Ronnie was doing. If he was going out of there, I was going to let her pace out of there a little bit. If he wasn't, I wasn't. And that's exactly how I ended up sixth. I didn't really care about the finish for today. I cared about her doing her work well and understanding. She followed Ronnie well. She went up to the gate well. She followed speed well. She got a little lost in her knees when we started her up getting into the last turn, and then paced as hard as she could right to the wire. You can't ask for much more than that. So although it was a fifth, I was still going to give her an A+ today. And even though I don't give out many A+ when we can improve, I think some minor equipment adjustments, maybe some shoeing adjustments, and you're going to see an even better, stronger filly go next week. Now, the one thing is, I won't be getting away sixth with her next week. We'll be stretching her out a little bit as we get her ready for the next generation on July the 5th. So that is what took place today thus far. We still got three. We have three at Scioto. I have Hamilton tonight. I found myself in a little bit of a situation. Last week I got the tickets for Ava and I for Hamilton. We were going to go in, go out to dinner. Now, Amy had brought up a good point. She said, Anthony, I got to leave Friday at 8 o'clock from Kincardine, Ontario, and drive back to Ohio for Oliver to play baseball at 9 a.m. That's what he wants to do. That's what we're going to do. It's a lot of driving. And if Addie could stay with you, that would be beneficial. Okay, no problem. Went on to StubHub, thinking if I'm lucky, maybe I can get a ticket right beside us. No such luck. So Ava got upgraded. She's getting down near the orchestra. She's going to see the play down there, and Addie and I will be with the peasants further back, watching the play. But it should be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. You know, I'm going to think that I bought a parking pass. It's like a half a mile away. I'm almost thinking I'll take an Uber, but I guess I can't now. If Addie's with us, I can't take an Uber. So go down there, park, see what restaurants are close by, see if I can get us 3 seats in a nice place, have a nice dinner with my girls, and then go watch what I've heard from everybody is a tremendous play. Now, Addie, obviously, I don't think will pick up on the play, and I told her, if you want to stay, we got to go to a play, and if you think the movies are boring, you're really going to be bored tonight, but if you want to stay, you got to come to Hamilton. And she decided to stay in Ontario. It was good for her. Amy was happy. It really helped her. And the girls and I are going to be off to Hamilton tonight. During the play, I'll be quietly watching as Freedom Hill, Oval No, and Aunt Lily race at Scioto. Tomorrow, I didn't check the weather yet. I hope it's going to be nice. I'm super excited to race Uncle Danny. Uncle Danny doesn't need a whole lot of teaching. He's figured it all out, and he's a true competitor already. And that was the contrast I was trying to get to with respect to Diosa della Danza. Still a little bit of a wooden head last week that was on display, which he blasted from the car. It was a little bit wild. The speed is there, right? Just need to help her out. Today, I was so happy. I thought with the wire snake cord, all she'd do was get angry and then just fight the bit and make a break. I thought that was a possibility today. But to see her go do her work well, finish up the way she did, was impressive. So along the lines of teaching, Uncle Danny has almost mastered everything. when it comes to racing. So just put him in a good spot, have him race good on the end of it, and get him also ready for the next generation. We have highest honors the day after that. Tomboy Strong will make her first pari-mutuel debut next week. They're not racing Friday or Saturday. I did not know this, but they do not race Friday or Saturday at the Meadows next week. So it's a matter of getting the horses raced, and then where do we go from here? So I'll check and see if we have some races for them potentially at Scioto next weekend, and if not, it'll be a very rare start to the summer where maybe I'm a little quiet on Friday and Saturday. Who knows? Anyway, I will talk to you all soon. That is the start of our day. For all my partners out there with Diosa Della Danza, please understand the difference between maybe what you thought you saw and what you actually saw. Last half in 55-1, the math, she can only go so fast, right? The math was against us from the start, but it was not about math today. It was about teaching her to be a good horse and be a good racehorse, understand what she's being asked to do, and execute it to the best of her ability, and she certainly did that. So I will talk to you soon. Good luck to all my partners tonight. Take care. Have a wonderful, I guess it's Thursday, but start to your weekend because it's almost here, right? A wonderful Thursday at the very least. And a great early start to your weekend. I will talk to you all very soon.